Sorry. I was chewing. Oh. Sorry. I was chewing. And I didn't want it to open my mouth. I mean, not that I'm a stranger to that, but there really wasn't going to be any point in doing that. Anyways. But finally, I could set aside a day for stream for this. So, one of the other ones I wanted to show you, like I said, third wheeler took a while, so I had to put it to another day. So, before we start, I am going to show you the warnings. I know I did it before, but I have to do it again because I don't want to be liable, okay? I don't want to be liable. Here are all the warnings for the base game, the safe for work version, okay? So anything that says low, anything that's checked with low, is probably only like briefly mentioned, only textual. Medium, it's like a toss-up. It could be textual or could actually be shown. Depends on the situation. And high, most likely shown, textually graphic, and whatnot. So, yeah, high is like everything you like, the heavy stuff, like the real heavy stuff. Like you see it, you read it, very descriptive. Medium, in between high and low, where it could be, maybe not be, not so much. And low is just like, oh, it's kind of like, oh, yeah, I was beaten as a child. That's about it. You know? They don't go into like descriptives or anything like that. So just keep this in mind while you're watching, or if you end up playing it by yourself. Okay? And more than anything, okay? Do not force yourself to play it if it makes you uncomfortable. Okay? Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to burp in your ear. Right, let me read the disclaimer. It's rated 18 plus. Minors are strictly prohibited from playing this game or engaging in any shape or form of the game. In no way, shape, or form the creator condones or accepts the illegal and horrible actions shown in game made by the characters. I'm telling you, both as a game developer, as a writer, and as an artist, we always have to say that because there's just some people out there who think, oh, if you create this thing, that means you condone and accept and support people who do this kind of stuff. Which no. Like the beauty of fiction is that we can explore these kinds of things without hurting anybody, right? And it also gives us a way to like talk about this stuff actually. Um, because media, I mean, I guess, goddamn science. Back in the day, stuff like this wasn't really talked about or covered much in media. Nowadays, I wouldn't say it's like everywhere, but it is being covered. So, having media that talks about this stuff can also help you recognize, if anybody in your life is like this. Not specifically this, because I'm not saying IRL IRL yanderes don't exist. They do, but they're not as um as exaggerated, I would say. Like, I'm telling you, anime, they exaggerate a lot of things. Now, I'm not saying there can't be an actual like person who's similar to like an anime yandere character, but I'm just saying like things do get exaggerated in medium. So it makes it more fun that way. So yes. And then this visual novel is made for creative venture and is pure fiction. It should not be romanticized or replicated in real life. It is highly discouraged. So yes, please don't, you know, do anything you see in this. Well, any of the bad stuff, which is a lot, but just saying. Right, and then the warnings. I already touched on them, but I should read them anyway. This game includes explicit and dark themes such as death, murder, um, how do people say it? The assault. You know what? I'll just go with the assault. Non-con implied hurting and themes that may be sensitive for some audiences. It's because this is also going to be going on YouTube, so I have to be careful with what I say. Now, I know I'm not monetized, but even still, just to be on the safe side. Uh, yeah, sensitive for some audiences. You may see the full list of warnings here or on the game's main menu. By agreeing, you hereby allow yourself to indulge within the game and its contents. Yes. It was many and many a year ago, in a kingdom by the sea, that a maiden there lived whom you may know, by the name of Annabel Lee. I know I've read this before. A grown poem. I think I read the entire poem actually. Hold on. Let me look it up. Wait, was it a poem or was it something else? I can't remember. Oh, it's a book. Oh no, his book of poems probably. Sorry, I just want to pull it up real quick. So it's been some time since I've seen it. And this maiden she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me. Wait, wasn't it like he wrote this about like his cousin that he was in love with? I'm just repeating what I heard. If it's true, not true, do let me know. Because again, I like knowing the truth, the facts, and again, I can't really know unless I talk about it and ask people to inform me. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea, but we loved with a love that was more than love. I am my Annabel Lee, with a love that the winged seraphs of heaven coveted her and me. And this was the reason that, long ago, in this kingdom by the sea, a wind blew out of a cloud, chilling my beautiful Annabel Lee, so that her high-born kinsman came and bore her away from me, to shut her up in a sepulture. I think it was like sepulture, right? Mm, no, that's how it's spelled, right? Right. R-E. Why are you spelling it that way? Oh, no, never mind. That's how they're pronouncing it. Sepulcher. Okay, whatever. Uh, in a sepulchre in this kingdom by the sea. The angels not so happy. What? The angels not half so happy in the heaven when envying her and me. Yes, that was the reason, as all men know, in this kingdom by the sea, that the wind came out of the cloud by night, chilling and killing my Annabel Lee. But our love it was stronger by far than the love of those who were older than we, of many far wiser than we, and neither the angels in heaven above nor the demons down under the sea can ever dissever my soul from the soul of the beautiful Annabel Lee. For the moon never beams without bringing me dreams of the beautiful Annabel Lee, and the stars never rise but I feel the bright eyes of the beautiful Annabel Lee. And so all the night tide I lie down by the side of my darling, my life and my bride, in her sepulchre there by the sea, in her tomb by the sounding sea. Yeah. Let's continue. Sorry. It was like, it was there. We might as well read it, right? Let's see, full report narrative's poem. I'm not gonna lie, I probably would have done this. I'd probably only like write a paragraph. Cause like, how do you want somebody to write 2 whole pages on a poem? Well, I'm guessing the poem they're writing about is the Annabelle Lee one, but it's like, how do you write 2 pages on this? Like, sure, a page. I can manage that, but two? 2 full pages? You're asking for way too much, my guy. The classroom broke into a series of yes, professor, while some spared no time in packing their things, eager to be dismissed and disregarding the teacher altogether. I can't recall if there's music. Yeah, I can't recall if there's music. If there is, well, I'll just mute my playlist when it appears. Ooh, that hurt. Oh no. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. Sorry. So that way we have something to listen to, not just sit in silence. Alright, there we go. Here's a literature teacher packs up her own things and exits the classroom. The moment your literature teacher left, the classroom broke into small groups as each oh wait, hold on. Up a little bit. It's probably classroom chatter going on, but broke into small groups as each student gathered up to meet with their respective leads. Some engaged in conversation while some spared no time in exiting the classroom. A yawn escaped your lips. You turned your head and observed the clouds outside. The clouds are shaded in dark gray. The sky's once blue color is now turned to the same lighter shade of gray. The looming threat of rain made you click your tongue in irritation. Just my luck. I didn't bother to bring an umbrella too. Standing up from your seat, you were about to grab your bag when you felt a tap on your shoulder. Turning around, you came face to face with Cobalt eyes. Cobalt, blue eyes. Her blonde hair shaped like swirls with ends dyed in blue and pink, complementing her entire ensemble. Oh. Alright, music's here. It's kind of loud. Hold on. Alright. It took a while for the music to start, but they got there. Where was I? Oh, complimenting her entire ensemble, even if it's just a white button up that clearly looks too small for her. Ah, in my case, when I was going to school, my stuff was always too big. I was a very skinny kid. Well, I won't say very skinny, but skinny that sometimes I had to get like extra small stuff. Hot pink jacket tied around her waist and the school's black skirt. Her hand, which you assumed was the same one that tapped her shoulder, hung up in the air. Seemed unsure whether to continue or not, judging from the way her eyebrows furrowed downward, while biting her glossed lower lip. She turned slightly, her head not fixed on you, but rather on whoever is behind her. You hear her whisper something under her breath before eventually composing herself and turning her focus solely on you now. Oops. You mean... should? Oh. That's your opener? Okay. Maybe I like looking like a walking corpse. You ever think about that? Let me stop. Excuse me? I need to make this smaller. Okay. You took a step back, clenching the strap of your bag as you glare at the blonde woman before you. Who is this woman? Who does she think she is? Judging from the woman's expression, she finally came to realize the words that came out of her mouth. You would. A familiar voice interrupted the two of you. What are they doing down there? That it's making so much noise, what the hell? You turned your head to where the voice was, and there stood none other than your old friend. His familiar orbs are of azure blue, nearly replicating lapis lazulus, and his chocolate brown hair tied loosely in a low braid. Sun-kissed skin enhanced his handsome features, adorned with a black long-sleeve button-up and an indigo vest to add to his clean look. He is known as Jericho Ichabod, Crow for short, the class representative and a close friend of yours. Well, the only close friend you have. Crow made his way to your side. With a hand on his hip, he reprimands the blonde-haired woman next to you, and the said woman just shrugged her shoulders. Placed a hand over your beating heart. The close proximity between you two caused a blush to appear on your cheeks. No matter how many times you get close to him, or him getting near you, you'll never get used to it. His whole aura just gives off a warm feeling in you, butterflies in your stomach thrashing and raging, begging to be released. Yeah, you may have a bit of a crush on him. A woman named Brittany just rolled her eyes, seemingly used to Crow's reprimands. Crow gives you a small smile while handing out something. Look down to see it. It was your ID. My name is... Oh god. I was actually about to continue that. Whoops. Oh my god, what's going on? Nope, looks fine. Sorry, something in the background that I'm doing is fucking up. Why, I don't know, but it is. I have to restart it. Look. Name, Betty. My name is always going to be Betty. Last name, Monet. Don't ask why. It's just something. Betty shows my name. Betty Monet along with my pronouns. Ooh, what do I feel like today? That's such a wild thing to say, honestly. What do I feel like my pronouns are today? I mean, I know there are some people who actually do that. Like, what am I feeling like today? Do I feel like a lady, man, a person, you know? Why not? Let's not be anybody. I mean, any gender. Oh god. Not be any gender. Stare at your own ID picture and see yourself more. What do I feel like appearing as? Because that's completely different from identification. I guess we can do masculine. Use masculine terms in movie called a boy man. I looked at your ID picture. Wait a minute. Neutral? So wait a minute. What's the point of pronouns? Ew. Oh, okay. There it is. You use gender neutral terms and will be called a kid person. You looked at your ID picture, seeing a young person and reading your name with your eye. Sirens are such a bitch. Name, Penny Monet, pronouns they them. My heart is searching. But no, that's right. Your fingers briefly brushed against his. You bit your lip and muttered a small thank you before pocketing your school ID. Girl gives you a closed-eye smile, returning with his own thank you. Wait, huh? Why is he thanking me? Is he okay? And then turns his attention back towards Brittany. Following up behind Brittany are 3 more people. Tallest of the 3 is a sporty-looking man, clad in a green and yellow jersey, with the number 10 settled in front. His eyes are bright green, the color that kind of reminds you of green apple. Ooh, sound good. I want a green apple now. I haven't had one in so... I mean, green apples have always been more expensive than red for some reason. Wait a minute, why is that? I wanna know now. Let's see, why are green apples more... I know they're called Granny Smith, but... green is just... right there. Alright. I really wish there was like, what's it called? Not formal, trusted, I guess? A trusted site, website that would tell me the answer. Oh, okay. So I'm going to R4. Let me. So, person's like, why are Granny Smith apples so expensive? Alright. Well, how long ago was this? 2 years ago? Sounds about right. This person looks like somebody somewhere else, probably. Popularity? Okay. Mm. Let's see. This says right here, like, that they're slow to grow and only harvest for a short period. Or they're grown in an expensive part of the world. Let's see. Let me try this one. Let's see. Harvesting in growing conditions. Green apples often require specific growing conditions and may have a shorter harvesting window, which can affect supply and lead to higher prices. Demand. Consumers prefer tart. Okay, it's true. Shelf life. Green apples tend to have a longer shelf life compared to red varieties. Wait, really? Wait. Do Granny Smith apples have a shelf? Well, let me just close it real quick, just in case it decides it wants to. Okay, well, this is just like the AI overview. Obviously it gets shit wrong. I know it does. Oh, thick-skinned. Okay, thick-skinned. I'll use that, thick-skinned. Market trends, seasonal trends, and market availability. If green apples are less available. Okay. Organic options. Interesting. I learned a lot today about apples. All because they describe the size as green apples. Oh, his skin a beautiful brown that nearly matches his curly hair, while a stubble is nestled on his chin, indicating his maturity. The second tallest is a man in a purple hoodie. His eyes are sharp and slanted with long lashes, adorned with teal-colored orbs underneath. His hair is straight and styled into a hime cut, save for a short strand tied with a red ribbon, and a little ponytail bound with the same shade of red behind him. Oh. He looks uninterested with what is going on around at the very moment. And the last but not the least is the shortest of the three, maybe within the group as well. Pale, wait, her skin pale, her face dotted with a few freckles, and then and there, as rectangular shaped frames shield away orange orbs. Her hair is short and loose like waves. She wears a black button-up under an orange vest and a black skirt matching Brittany's. A tall jock clad in a yellow and green sports jersey lets out a loud laugh, causing some students to turn to look at him. Brittany's face grew red from embarrassment. Gritting her teeth, she crossed her arms while tapping her foot on the ground. This only made the jock laugh even harder. As the two argue, you turn your head towards the other tall male in a hoodie. Sensing your gaze, he looks down at you, his hand still in his hoodie's pocket. Damn, he's looking down at me. I must be short as hell. Cause I could just only imagine like, he's like 6 foot. I'm like 5 feet. Like a whole ruler of a distance between us. A sudden chill went down your spine. You quickly averted your gaze away from the imposing male and landing on the meek girl in orange right beside Brittany. She hasn't spoken since she arrived with the two males, but judging from how attached she is to Brittany, you're guessing she's closer with her than the rest of the group. That's how it's English is hard. That's how it always is. It's like you have a group of friends and you just tend to be closer to some other people than others. Not because like you don't like the other people. It's just, you know, the people that you're closer with you just get along with better. You vibe with more, you know? I don't know how to explain it, but it just makes sense somehow, you know? Ugh. She kind of reminds you of yourself when you were still new to the school with no one to talk to. Not until Crow befriended you, of course. Were you as clingy to Crow back then as she is with Brittany now? Overwhelmed. Very. They sure are. Some. It is actually. Well, for the introverted people, it's very overwhelming. Especially if you're like me and you overthink a lot. Oh, it's hell. Crow reassures you with a worried smile on its lips. You turn back to the group, the tall jock named Daryl now bothering Gio with an arm around his shoulder. The visible irritation on Gio's face did nothing to sway Daryl's happy-go-lucky personality. Brittany leans on one of the desks with her arms crossed, striking a conversation with the bespectacled girl next to her. What's her name? I didn't seem to catch it last time. What do you mean? Nobody ever said her name. Girl glanced at where you were pointing at. You're pointing too? No. That's rancid. You don't point. You just don't point, man. Dang. Crow pinches your cheek playfully, and you groan, but your mock annoyance is betrayed by the small smile that formed on your lips. That's right. You got yourself acquainted with Crow in your sophomore year. Before you left for the city, your father emphasized the importance of having companions and establishing friendships, most especially in this college. I'm trying to figure out how to pronounce that, because my brain wants to say Olympias. But I have a feeling that's not it. Olympias? Olympias? Olympias University, the largest university in Titan City. It is known for having the best facilities and the best education, where you're guaranteed to rise from the bottom to the top. Well, that's what the advertisement tells you. You tried getting to know people during your first year, but to no avail. No matter how much you try to make friends, you just couldn't seem to bring yourself to talk to anyone. And to your dismay, no one seems to bother to even befriend you. Okay. It's a sentence. Sure, you would talk with a few classmates for projects, but nothing goes beyond that. As if they're scared of you. More like disgusted? You can never tell. The looks you've received have all been mixed signals, some bad, some out of pity. That is, until Crow came into the picture. Among everyone, Crow was the sole person who approached you with the intention of friendship. You were wary of him at first. Why would someone want to befriend you out of nowhere? Past experiences have caused you suspicion. You've had a history with people who tried to earn your good graces because you were somehow beneficial to them. You thought Crow would be the same case, so you ignored him. Then he kept following you, trying to strike a conversation with you every now and then. You tried to dismiss him, ignoring his presence as usual, but Crow was determined to break down your walls and kept insisting on tagging along until it annoyed you once. Just once. That is, until it happened on the last day of your first semester in your sophomore year. You fell victim to one of the school's biggest hidden flaws. If Crow wasn't there to stop them, you cannot begin to imagine what might have happened to you. You're concerned about me. How about you? You're the one who's hurt. Thinking back, you thought he was crazy and stupid. Taking blow after blow until the perpetrators got bored and left both of you. We gotta love our crazy men. Hi. You're crazy, you know that? And he just laughs it off, wincing due to the bruises on his face. I never got your name, crazy person. Nice to meet you, Crow. I'm Petty. You brought him to the clinic that day and became inseparable ever since. Right after that incident, Crow promised never to get in fights again and continues to keep his word on it. There are a lot of sirens today. Jesus. People just like stop dying for once, please. You really owe it to him. You look back up at Crow. He tilts his head. No, nothing, just happy that you're my friend. He looked at you with raised eyebrows, probably surprised at how random your thoughts seem. He didn't say anything as he let your words sink in, and his usual gentle smile appeared on his face. Crow inched closer to you, indicating that he feels the same way. Brittany must have taken notice of the amount of time wasted in talking and arguing as she turns to you one last time. Caught up in your little daydream about the past, Brittany finally spoke up, catching your attention. You looked back at Crow, recalling his words. Don't force yourself to join if you're still uncomfortable. Then you decided to. Hmm? I mean, I could, but do I wanna? You know, it's like, could, but do I wanna? Normally I would save, but I'm like, nah. Ugh. We can hang out another day. Sorry, I was looking at the voice design. It's a thing I do now. I'll head to the library today. With a hand on her hip, Brittany stares at you, as if waiting for you to change your mind. Seeing that your decision is set, she loosens a sigh. Brittany wordlessly turns on her heel and walks out of the classroom, the rest of her friends following behind her. Crow, however, stayed in his exact same spot right next to you. Noticing this, Gio, the one in the hoodie, stops. Crow paused shortly to sneak a look at you before walking towards Gio, his movements slow and hesitant to leave your side. Although Crow did not give you a farewell glance before reaching his friend, it was Gio who glared at you over his shoulder. I mean, look. The more you keep looking at me, the more I'm going to think that you actually, like, want me, my guy. So don't start something you can't finish. His gaze was intimidating and intense. It reminded you of the way predators look at their prey. You felt your heart stop beating for a moment. Confused by his apparent stillness, Crow was about to question his blue-haired companion, but Gio waved his hand dismissively. Before Crow could notice anything, Gio breaks his gaze away from yours and ushers his friend out of the classroom. He let out the breath. Whoa. Where did my voice go? Let out the breath you didn't know you were holding in. What's that about? He gave me nothing but short glances and glares since I've met him. Maybe I'm not suited to be part of their group. You shake away the negative thoughts, attempting to plague them from your mind. Returning to your original plan, you packed up your things and proceeded to head out. Next stop, the library. The rowdy hallway buzzed with noises. Sweaty and tired students made their way to their respective classes, some presumably headed to the cafeteria for a break. Several were headed to the same direction you were walking. The library door within your reach, a smile etched on your face. You opened the doors, immediately greeted by the familiar scent of coffee and library books. You've always been awed by your university's fancy facilities. In fact, the library surprisingly operates as a small cafe, serving coffee to the students who need it early in the morning until the afternoon. It is a huge hit amongst everyone, and you understand why. Caffeine is the fuel to a college student's weary soul. The aroma of coffee somehow lightened your mood. Anticipating a short moment of peace within the library, you made your way towards your usual seat, with a large window near the cafe section. Your mood dropped when you spotted an unfamiliar face occupying the chair you've come to favor. You groaned, just scraped. What should I do about this? Sorry, I was yawning. Huh? I'm gonna be real, huh? Probably just be better if you like. It's like that's where you want to sit, right? Like, it may not be the exact same seat, but it's still near it. You don't feel like talking to him or causing trouble on your end. With a sigh, you give up the thought of getting your seat back as you drag the spare chair and place it beside his. He looks at you from the corner of his eye. He thought he would say something, but he didn't seem to mind since he brought his attention back to the book he was reading. My. You continue with your report, occasionally tapping your pen on the paper with furrowed brows. You were thinking too hard for this stupid task, but your brain came up empty for words. You feel him glance at you from time to time, but you paid no mind to him now that your report took priority. Time passed and eventually lunch break was nearing its end. You groaned, half of your paper still empty. You were able to get much work done. All you did was probably go over the poem over and over multiple times in hopes that a sudden will to write will hit you. And sadly, it did not. You hear the guy beside you standing up from his seat. You nearly forgot about his presence, and he heads out of the library, leaving you alone at the table. Take a glance at the wall clock, cursing at the time. Seeing that there's no point in wasting more time here, you made your way out of the library as well. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry, just finishing up my side thing. So I can close out of it. The golem's close. Okay. Once you reached the hallway, the stranger from the library was already gone, but what surprised you was Crow's presence followed by the same group of friends you saw this morning. Only that Brittany's uniform is covered in what seems to be a mix of ketchup, mustard, and a variety of oils, while Jess tries her best to wipe them off of her. What the fuck happened in the cafeteria? Oh jeez. 7 hours. Okay. Sorry, I'm like a very busy bee. Multitasking is so much work. How am I feeling? How am I feeling? I'm feeling good, bro. Doing fine. Just was being asked questions. Uh, there it is. Alrighty, let's continue. Doing fine. I'm just mad I didn't get much work done on my paper. Yes. I can. You give Crow a smile, thank her for his will to help before turning to Brittany. The said girl notices your gaze on her and just lets out a huff. She seems embarrassed. I mean, anybody would be going around. I mean, not even going around, walking around with stains on your shirt. I'm doing fine, although. You turn your gaze to the blonde behind him. Crow follows your line of sight and scratches his cheek. A drop of sweat rolls down his neck, sensing your curiosity. Did not realize there was a period there. He turns to Brittany. The blonde woman just waves him off, refusing to meet his eyes. Taking that as a sign to proceed, Crow explains. Food fight! You know, I've never been involved in a food fight. I mean, not that I ever want to be, but it's just interesting to think about. Like, some people are like, oh yeah, I've had this experience, and I'm like, what is that? You know? I feel like there's so many experiences I haven't had. I mean, obviously, depending on what kind of school you go to, that affects whatever kind of stuff that happens at it. But I guess I've only ever been to, like, for lack of better words, goody two-shoes schools. And so, not much of an opportunity to food fight or anything. Cause yeah, like, I sit there and like people are like, oh yeah, you know, this happened at my school. Like, have you ever seen like those videos where people are like, oh yeah, like, there was like this teacher who was, you know, all crazy and stuff like that, and they got arrested, right? I'm just like, oh. Now obviously it's good that I don't have stories like that, because I mean I went to like a good school, but even still, it feels a little bit lonely to be left out sometimes. Everybody has like all these interesting stories to tell. I'm just like, well, I guess technically I do have a crazy story, but only from high school though. I'm sorry, I'm just trying to finish up quickly with the side thing. Alright. Get me out of here. Right. There's just a later, I remember. So yeah. The only crazy story I have regarding my high school. So my high school, when I was growing up, they basically had the girls wearing skirts, because, you know, it's the feminine thing to do and whatever. The skirts had changed over the years, so at that point of like when I saw them, they were colorful. I will say that they were colorful, and I was like, ooh, that's really pretty. But so yeah, and they were like not too short, but short enough. Um, and so because of an incident, sirens again. There's so many today. My God. But yeah, because of an incident that happened, they essentially banned skirts, and the girls were only allowed to wear pants. So basically, what happened was, um, I don't remember who told me or where I got this information from, but I also don't know how true it is, but um, a lot of people were saying it, so I'm guessing there's some truth to it. But one of the girls, she I think they said she recorded herself going at it with a homeless guy. And then obviously, the school caught wind of it, and as a result, um, they banned skirts and forced the girls to wear pants. I don't know. I'm pretty sure there's more to it, but that's basically like what I know. Like because of that incident, skirts were banned. I'm like, okay, well, okay. Not sure how banning skirts is gonna stop them from doing something like that again, but sure. Why not? Daryl jumped in the conversation, startling you and Crow at his sudden appearance. An annoyed expression made its way onto Crow's face. Daryl gives Crow a little nudge. The said man just rolled his eyes. You and Daryl turned to Brittany, some of the sauces on her uniform gone, leaving nothing but a stain on it. A small smirk formed on her lips as she recalled the earlier events. Daryl gives a toothy smile at the blonde woman. She returns with her own snarky smile. Crow only rolls his eyes, shaking his head at the two troublemakers. Ron cherried his visible disagreement. You couldn't help but notice a small smile on his face, as if he's proud of them despite the trouble they caused. As you observed them, you noticed something amiss. Or rather, someone amiss. Just seemed to catch onto your confusion at their lack of numbers and stepped up to explain. What? That handsome man isn't here? Bring him back. I see. Not that I was actively trying to look for the guy, he actually scares me. You recall the look he gave you right before you left for the library. Just remembering it sends a shiver down your spine. You consider tugging on Crow's sleeve, wanting to seek for answers about his other friend. But seeing how he's going along with the group with a genuine smile on his face, you bit your lower lip. You couldn't bear to ruin the mood. I should head to my next class. Not sparing them any more of your time, you swiftly turned on your heel and rushed out of the scene. Daryl perks up beside Crow's solemn face, while the two stare at your departing form. Crow sighs and looks down on the floor. The taller jock says nothing, but gives his friend a look of pity. Rubbing Crow's back, he tries to think of something, anything, to reassure the man next to him. Daryl's eyes suddenly lit up, a smile appearing on his lips. Taking advantage of Crow's vulnerability, he swiftly snatched his friend's phone from his pockets, the latter not even batting an eye at his phone that was taken. Instead, he questions him. Shock simply messes with his phone, his tongue sticking out from the corner of his lips. Crow's eyes grew wide at the block of text Daryl showed him. Daryl simply laughs at Crow's failed attempts in getting his phone back. Daryl waves Crow's blue mobile phone in the air. Of course it's blue. Of course it's blue. God forbid it's like, I don't know, orange. The jock winks. A few feet away from the men, Brittany and Jess simply observe the two males. They turned to each other and shrugged, wondering what Daryl could have done to get Crow flustered like that. Barely making it to your next class, you slid the classroom door open, earning you a few looks from the students inside the room. Ooh. Ooh, almost choked on my saliva again. Turning to the podium, you exhaled a breath you didn't realize you were holding when you realized that your teacher was still absent. Fixing your composure, you scanned the room. A few easels and shelves filled with brushes and bottles stained with acrylic paint guaranteed that you made it to the right class. You make your way to your seat. Once settled down, you groaned, placing your elbows on the desk and resting your chin on top of your hands, waiting patiently for your professor's arrival. Well, you couldn't help but notice the feeling of someone staring at you. Shook it off, thinking that it must have been the lack of sleep. You look out of the window. Or maybe it's the cold weather. Hearing the classroom door open, your art professor makes his way inside, his large round belly standing out, brown spectacles sitting on top of his nose, and a stereotypical brown beret on his head. He greets the class before starting his lecture. Art exhibit project featuring various eras of art as part of our thesis. This time we're tasked with expressionism. More like taking the credit of a student's work and using it to advertise your shitty school. You scoffed at the thought. This is where you want to throw your desk out the window. How could you forget? You weren't present during the previous meeting. You absolutely knew no one in the specific class. How were you taking art again? Oh right, your father was an artist, as he was a farmer. It was all for him, and maybe you can make a name for yourself with your works, if ever your life as a gardener wouldn't turn out the way it should. Well, part of plan B, and if that fails, I've got plan C and D. I have yet to make up the rest. Or I guess I'll die. You shake away your silly thoughts. The problem is now at hand. You do not have a partner to work with. Eventually, you were forced out of your seat since your seatmate's partner will be occupying it for class. You curse at yourself. You could only hope you're not the only student who didn't get their own partner for this class. But upon looking around, it seems like everyone is calm and collected. Were you the only one panicking here? Like the rest of the class scurrying around to meet their partner, you were the only fool who was standing still. No, I'm the only one standing because from the I'm gonna lose it. Oh my god. Ugh. Everything is against me today. It's like the world doesn't want me streaming this. Okay. Note on the only one standing because from the corner of the classroom, there's a single student not bothering to stand up from their seat. Their seatmate had left to pair with someone else, leaving a vacant spot. Is he not going to bother with his partner? Unless. Hey there! He looks up from his desk and looks at your approaching form before you're eventually standing next to him. Hit me. Do you have a partner? Why'd you hesitate? Are you lying to me? Well, just your luck then. Me neither. So, do you want to be partners? He took the vacant seat right beside him, his book now tucked away, and on his desk is now a pen and a piece of paper, seemingly ready to take notes. Hey, I never got to know your name. Well, I should at least know what to call you instead of Green Streak Guy. He raised a brow at your silly nickname you gave him before slightly shaking his head. Sullivan. Oh, you poor thing. Sullivan. Soul. Sorry. Um, true. Your name contradicts with your whole glam, not gonna lie. Your naming is the exact opposite to what you're wearing, if I gotta be honest. Not that you don't dress well, I mean, you look good. A pinch of red makes its way to his face. Soul bit his lower lip as he readjusts his collar. I know it's supposed to be collar, but it says cooler, so I should just shut the fuck up. He averts his gaze, biting his inner cheek. I should introduce myself before this gets any more awkward. Well, I'm Petty Monet. Nice to finally know your name, Soul. Soul nods with a smile forming on his lips, then returning his attention back to the professor. Traditional? No. No, I'm kidding. Professor then proceeds to give other pointers for your project before leaving you and the rest of class for the day. Everyone in the classroom proceeds to talk with their partners, already brainstorming ideas on what they're going to showcase and hopefully could get a high grade. He turned to Soul as he took out his own charcoal pencil and a sketch pad for the class. Got any plans for our first display, Soul? My face? Let's add a little chuckle. Goodness. Ah. Yawns, go away. Oh. Seems like he already has an idea on what to do. And judging from that half-filled sketchbook of his, he's quite familiar with the concept of art. Me, however, I am pretty good because let's be good at art. Let's not be shitty. Soul gives me a small smile. Sure, wait, let me get my things. Took out your sketch pad and a charcoal pencil. A Soul relaxed on his seat. whatever you feel most comfortable in. Your eyes scanned his face. The more you look at him, the more you notice some of his features. Cheekbones, his lips with two piercings, his thick eyebrows, the way his hair settles down on his shoulders, and his reddish-orange eyes. He's actually quite handsome. For a moment, you just stared at his eyes. He noticed and stared back, his pupils dilating before he realized he was staring. Heat rises to his cheeks. He quickly averted his head away. Hey, eyes on me. Relax, it's just me. Plus you'll stare at my boring face after I'm done with your portrait. He says without even thinking twice. His eyes met yours, half-lidded, and his pupils were wide. Now it's your turn to turn red. You hid your face behind your sketch pad and whacked him with your charcoal pencil. Stop saying stupid. Stop saying stupid. Stop saying stupid. And stay still. Soul just chuckled and stilled his movements, a hand on his chest and a smile on his face. Before you knew it, the bell rang and class was over. You weren't done with your sketch, however. The conversation kept repeating in your mind, and it made it hard for you to concentrate. Like hell you were going to show it to Soul. It's not done yet! You chucked the sketch pad in your bag before Soul would grab a hold of it. You got up from your seat and headed out of the classroom, Soul coming close behind with his own bag as he leaves as well with the rest of the class. You have a phone. We should exchange numbers and update each other so we can do the next 2 more tasks. Soul then takes out his own phone and asks for your number. You recited out as he inputted it on his phone. He nodded and looked at your phone screen and saw a new notification from an unknown number. This must be Soul's. So, I'm so different from how you look. What does that mean? How is that different from how he looks? How? In the corner of your eye, you see Soul's eyebrow raised at your text. Nothing. It just means something. Shut up. Kill him. You chuckled. He rolled his eyes. Your stare lingers on Soul's face. The smile is embedded on his handsome features while he looks at the block of text on his phone. You bite the bottom of your lip as you recall the events that happened today. Mostly meeting new people, first formally meeting Crow's group, and now meeting Soul. Back then, you struggled to form friends. Throughout college, that you were convinced you would be graduating without making a single connection, which would undoubtedly disappoint your father, and you were ready for it. Holy run-on sentence. Oof, that was run-on. Oh my god. You thought to yourself, these are odd people, eccentrics at most. All misunderstood people, all human, all the same. A sudden wave of determination washed over you. Like Undertale, you're overcome with determination. With a hand on your chest, you stare into Soul's orbs, making him tilt his head slightly. Soul, I want to be friends with you. I can sense that people tend to misunderstand you and your overall personality. Soul is quiet, but his gaze remains on you with a lingering curiosity. Now let me be different. Sorry. I saw a notification. I want to know you. I want to understand you, Soul. If you let me. He blinked once, then twice, then a chuckle. He puts a large hand on top of your head, then ruffles your hair. He playfully pushed his hand off of your head and nudged him on the shoulder. He lets out a small laugh at your poor attempt. Nice to you, Sullivan Rugmancia. Or Zemancia. Could be either or. Rugmancia. Well, I need to get going. See you tomorrow. Giving Soul a wave of goodbye, you make your way towards the school's exit. As you walk through the hallway, your eyes caught on something on the nearby bulletin board. The poster was plastered on the large board. The Hollows Ball. In the school, large hall and court. Free entry October 31st. Begins at 8 p.m. Lorem Ipsum is simply a dummy text. I'm not gonna read that. Come enjoy the festive spirit of Hallows Eve. A Halloween party, huh? Seems promising. A sudden small vibration came from your pocket. Curious, you took out your phone expecting another message from Soul. It was from Crow. Your heart leaped from your chest, recalling the events that happened earlier this afternoon. Can you meet me after class? I'll be at the front gate. I was like, why is it not going ahead? You didn't send a reply. Turning off your phone, you quickly made haste for the exit. You approached the school's gate, keeping an eye out for your friend. Sure enough, there stood Crow in all his glory, posture straight with his arms held behind his back, his bag neatly placed on the floor, and his foot tapping on the concrete floor nervously. You yourself were growing nervous with each step you took as you drew closer and closer to him. When you reached his side and made your presence known with a small greeting, you noticed the way Crow's eyebrows raised in mild surprise, as if not expecting you to actually show up before him. He cleared his throat before composing himself properly, his body now facing in your direction. You wanted to see me? Lifting his bag from the floor, he slings the strap over his shoulder and offers his hand for you to take. No. I wish I could just do neither, but neither is never an option in these kinds of things. Like, you have to. You don't get to you don't get to I can't English. You don't get to decline. Declining is for the weak. You took his hand. In return, Crow wraps his fingers around yours. His nervous smile melts into a genuine and happier one before he leads both of you away from the school's gate into the streets. Oh my god, he's taking me to the streets where I belong. No, I'm kidding. By the time you and Krill made it to the park, it was already sundown and stars slowly started painting the sky. Wait, how far is this park? Because I'm assuming... Well, it's university, never mind. Might have late classes. Yeah, that might be it. It's like... Oh. Is this the place you were trying to lead me to, Crow? You follow him through a thicket of thick bushes. Tries to see stony stairs, and though a bit run down, it still seems ready to step through. Looking up, you see it leads somewhere above. You and Krill make your way up the stony stairs, some red and orange leaves coloring the steps as you and him avoid a few puddles from the rain this morning. Taking one last step, you see Crow admiring whatever was beyond him. His smile bright as his eyes twinkle like the stars above. Your eyes went wide in awe upon seeing the scenery before you, replicating the one Crow has on his face. Not once did you take into consideration the idea of sightseeing within the city. Everything felt unfamiliar, intimidating even. Couldn't blame yourself for feeling so distressed about the idea of traveling, especially since you had no one else within the city to guide you. The gazing at the sea of lights that stretched out before you made you realize that you have been missing much of what the city has to offer. Looking farther ahead, you take notice of a tall tower decorated with bright neon pink lights. A bit to its right is a movie theater next to a mall. The rows of other buildings with multicolored lights seem endless. The more you scan the area, the more you see unfamiliar places that you didn't know existed. Your moment of silence while admiring the city view was interrupted by the sound of rustling grass. You turn around, finding the source of the sound. Earl has made himself comfortable, lying on the ground under an old tree. You see his backpack leaning on its trunk. You turn your back from the city and walk to where Crow lay, deciding to keep him company. His gaze on the starry sky shifts to you as you sit down beside him, and a hopeful smile grows on his face. Wow, what gave it away, Crow? Accepting his invitation, you give Crow a slight nod that brought joy to his eyes. English hard. You stretch a bit and lay on your back right next to him, your fingers barely touching. You and Crow look at the night sky. You observe how the stars twinkle as if the rain from this morning never happened. How did you manage to find this place? You tilt your head to look at him, and he gives you a closed-eye chuckle before his twinkling gaze meets yours. Oops. Lily's Mint? Crow points up at the old tree that stood above you, then returns his gaze to the stars. There are other versions of the myth. Moving his gaze from the sky back to the tree, he stares at it, as if trying to decipher something just by the mere look of it. That sounds quite gruesome. It's no wonder why they would rather use the lighter version of the myth. Girl lets out a low chuckle at your statement, nodding a bit, as if agreeing with you. He pauses before speaking again. You perk an eyebrow at him. Yeah? No, lay it on me. Tell me what it is. This question caught you by surprise. You never thought of Crow as the religious type, more so be interested in gods. Or maybe he's just curious by the idea though. This may be the best moment to know for sure. I do not. Because if they existed, we wouldn't be so miserable, would we? No, I don't. I believe in one's hard work. Does that count? Earl merely chuckles at your statement. The hand resting on his chest, he shakes his head slightly, as if he couldn't believe what he just heard. Couldn't believe he just heard you say that. I don't mind the people who believe in them. I just don't like the way some of them worship the very ground these so-called gods walked on. You scoffed. I believe that everything is made possible through everyone's efforts, be it as a team or as an individual. True believers only give credit to these deities, or deities, however you want to pronounce it, for everything, and it's an insult to the forgotten people who sacrifice themselves to make things happen. You recall the townsfolk who endlessly praised and worshipped your patron deity for the bountiful harvest you and your family broke sweat and tears for. You watched as the efforts of your own labor were all thrown to some invisible being which, as far as you knew, returned nothing but calamities one after another. It was only a miracle that you, your father, and the damn farmland are still standing and your crops are still thriving even after so much damage. Crow notices the way your brows furrow. He says nothing, but the look in his eyes tells you that he shares your sentiments wholeheartedly. How about you? Do you believe in gods? He turned to Crow, repeating the same question he asked you earlier. He scans your face, your eyes, your nose, and then your lips. Who's the one who wrote that, Taeyang? His lingering gaze made you shrink back, your heart fluttering slightly. Crow seems to realize something to himself as he returns his attention to the stars above, sighing. This surprises you, and Crow laughs at your visible shock and confusion. Yeah, I have to be honest, no. You kinda dress like a priest. Crow's azure eyes grew wide as he broke out into one of the loudest laughs you've ever heard from him. He laughed so hard that he had to clench his stomach and wipe at the tear-stained corners of his eyes. He was still chuckling when he unbuttons the first two studs of his black polo, revealing more of his collarbone to you. You quickly avert your eyes, finding the tree's leaves to be very interesting at this moment, as you feel a familiar heat rush to your cheeks. For fuck's sake, Ichabod. It feels like I'm seeing a Victorian woman's ankles for the first time. Crow grins at your reaction. It took the both of you a few more seconds of going back and forth with his teasing and you reprimanding him before you finally calmed down. The next few moments were spent with you pointing at the stars and Crow teaching you the constellations with a gentle whisper-like voice. You both fell silent, basking in the peace of the night. As the silence prolonged, Crow fell deep in thought. So we're moving to this conversation next, huh? lets out a breath he didn't know he was holding, using to meet your eyes. You bit your lip, suspected that you might have upset Crow by making him think that you didn't like the group's presence at all, and that he's forcing you to bend to his will. One thing to know about Crow is that he is never the type to demand, to control, to be a king, to be a tyrant. You didn't do anything wrong, Crow. In fact, I should be the one to apologize. You speak up without thinking. Crow turns his head to look at you, his gaze swirling with confusion at your apology. I'm sorry for making you feel bad. I didn't mean to be upset, You swallowed a lump in your throat, trying your best to hold the tears that were threatening to spill. I just thought that you'd forget about me after. They're amazing people. Brittany's pretty. Jill's a fun guy. Jill's so cool and just as loyal. They're a great group. And most importantly, you're amazing, Crow. You're all amazing, but not me. I'm just not sure I could ever be part of the group. You were always hidden in the shadows, no matter how much you tried to fit in. You were never to be considered. People treated you like someone to toss away, someone to use. You are worth nothing but an extra. That's what she always tells you. You couldn't hold it back anymore. A sob escapes your lips, your vision slowly blurring as you feel wet droplets of tears finally sliding down your cheek from your eyes. For a moment, you saw panic in Crow's expression, seemingly not expecting you to burst into tears. He reaches out to hold your hand. Suddenly, you feel a pair of arms circling around you as he pulls you closer to him, letting you sob on his shoulder. He says nothing while rubbing a hand along your back, allowing you to cry, not caring about his clothes getting wet from your tears. Once you calm down, Crow rests his hand on your back, not letting you out of his embrace. You can feel vibrations coming from his chest from the chuckle he emits. You have no idea how much tears you shed tonight. Sometimes you think it's silly and childish to cry over what was probably a trivial matter to some, but the urge to sob returned after hearing those words from him. That made you giggle a bit as you wipe your tear-stained cheeks. With whatever strength you could muster, you slowly pulled away and lifted yourself up. You sit yourself up, hovering over Crow. And there you see the very same man that made you cry by literally doing nothing. His braid came loose, you didn't know when, his hair pulled around his head. Crow stares up at you with serene eyes, remaining silent as a gentle smile plastered on his face. There was nothing but the moon illuminating his tender features, yet to your vision, he seems to glow. He is absolutely beautiful. Oh, how you wish you could blame everything on him. If you could, you tell him that he's the reason for all the unnecessary feelings swelling in your chest. You tell him exactly how good and bad it all feels, the heartaches and the butterflies fluttering about in your stomach. You want to blame him, but you can't. No. No, we ain't dedicating ourselves to anyone just yet. Whoa. You didn't feel as bad as before, but your vessel is not completely empty yet. Somehow, just looking at Crow and the comfort he brought you made you want to bask in it longer until you were sure you had no tears left to shed. Kneeling down once more, you bury your face in the crook of his neck, and his arms instinctively wraps around you, his hug warm and soothing as he waits for you to gather your thoughts. Crow rubs circles on your back, a silent way of telling you that he was there, you were not alone, and that he'd be there whenever you needed him. He didn't say a word, understanding that you needed silence more than anything right now. You couldn't thank him enough for always knowing what you needed. You have no idea exactly how long you remained in that embrace while lying down on the grass, but you feel a lot better and that you are ready to get back up on your feet. You pull away, meeting Crow's eyes that seem to ask after your well-being. Fixing his cooler, he turns to you. Are you good to go? You can read just that from his gaze. You nod slightly, and it is only then that Crow completely releases you from his embrace, helping you sit up before he dusts off the grass that's stuck to his shirt. He gives you a once-over and gently swats away the leaves on your hair and clothes. You blink at him. He only smiles at you. You get up, and Crow retrieves his bag, almost forgotten, by the tree. He looks back at you and takes your hand silently. It was time to go. It was time to leave this magical place. You look at the stars and how brightly they shone. You gave the sky one last glance before turning away, hand clasped tightly around Crow's as you let him lead you home. But damn, you're like, you want to kiss him yet? I'm like, what? No. Can I get to know him a little bit more, please? Crow walks you to your apartment, noting that he kept you out late at night. You bid Crow goodbye after he safely sees you inside. He gives you a wave before turning on his heel and making his way down the stairs. You close your apartment door and lean on it, keeping a puff of air. You recall the conversation you had with Crow while you walked with him on the street leading to your home. I'm going to give the guys a chance. I think I judged them too quickly. So I want to do better. I want to get to know them better. If you trust them, then I trust them too. Crow's expression was of surprise at your declaration, as your determined face reflected in his orbs. Crow chuckles at your enthusiasm, giving you a friendly pat on the head. You engaged in another conversation with Crow during your walk, the topics not really being of any importance as you have forgotten them by now, save for his gentle voice and the occasional fond glances he stole at you. Time with Crow seemed to pass by so quickly. You arrived at your apartment complex before you knew it. You make your way to the living room and you throw your school bag to a random corner, immediately plopping down on your sofa as you turn on the small television. Nothing interesting is going on save for some food commercials and movie trailers. Pizza looks good. Maybe I should order something. Reaching to your pockets and taking out your phone, you're about to dial the numbers on the television when a new notification bubble popped up on your notification bar. It's from a group chat you've never seen before. After scrutinizing it, you realize that it was Crow who added you in. It was a group chat with the rest of his friends. You open it. Anyone want to go to the Halloween party this Friday? It's gonna be awesome! Aren't we all a bit too old for costume parties? Is it required? You two are no fun at all. I won't go if it's not a school requirement, much less a waste of my time. Is it? No, it isn't. But it'll be a great and fun experience for all of us. I mean, we should loosen up a bit, you know? I agree with Crow. Help me in. Yes, I've got more important things to do than that party. Now, will you excuse me? I will be doing my leftover task for tonight. Oh, come back! You're so sexy. Sheesh, stick in the mud as usual. How about you, Petty? Me? You join in? It'll be fun. You're honestly surprised they somehow remembered you. Checking your calendar through your phone, you didn't seem to have any plans in the near future. Or plans at all. You'd like to just spend your time in your apartment alone. I mean, sure. That's great to hear. I guess that's the end. Rose seems happy about it. You giggled. This also reminds you of something. Or rather, someone. Opening another chat, you tapped on in Soul's newly added contact and sent him a message by sending the image of the same poster Derek sent. A Halloween party? Also by the school? Yeah. I'm not quite into parties. Oh. Oh, well, it's alright. Just asking, that's all. Wait. If you're coming, then I'm coming as well. Really? Really? You plan on dressing up? I don't know, do you? I mean, it's a costume party, so why not? I'll try to think of something then. You swear you can feel the smile behind those words. With a quick word of goodbye, you set your phone down when you heard your doorbell. That must be food delivery. When did we order? What? Wait a minute, oh. Afterwards, you ate your dinner and prepared yourself for bed. You thought about the events that happened today. Meeting the group, meeting Soul, and most especially, your little hangout with Crow. Each and every moment is a special occasion on its own. Letting out a big yawn as you stretched your body. You turn to your laundry, slowly piling up and scratch your head. I'll probably do laundry tomorrow, but for now, left yourself on the soft cushions of your bed, getting into a comfortable position and slowly dozing off as you closed your eyes, embracing sleep as the night goes. And this made it, she lived with no other thought than to love and be loved by me, the one who loves. I was a child and she was a child in this kingdom by the sea. Hooray, I'm gonna take a break here. I know, I'm like halfway through ads and I'm like, I'm gonna take a break now. I'm back. Sorry about that. The sun setting by the horizon colors the grassy field into a deep golden orange as the wind made some strands of hair brush across your face. Your ever-beloved home, the tall grass, the fresh air, and the various farm animals that you and your family raised since you were but a mere child. You can't even imagine what was happening before you right now. As a group of people came while they talked to your father. Your only family member left. What's for your mom? You see the distress in your father's eyes as he tries his best to negotiate with the people. The desperation in his voice, the sweat running down his neck as he moves around his hand, gesturing this and that. The loud ringing of the school bell rang across the hallway, making you jerk out of your thoughts. Students came through their classroom doors. Students came out through. You could feel someone shaking you awake. You sat up and met face to face with Crow. Oh god, did he just call me Sleeping Beauty? You are so cringe. Okay, I'm kidding. You let out a yawn. You rubbed your eyes as you looked around. Your fellow classmates are now gone from their seats as it is now. What did I miss? Thanks, Crow. You're a lifesaver. Wait, hold on. I just had big brain. Look at me, big braining like my life. You recalled the little dream you had. You quickly shake it off as you let out a stretch, popping a few joints before you got up and went out of your classroom with Crow in tow. You met up with your group of friends, seeing Daryl with GL, and Krill waiting by the lockers, Brittany coming along behind them. Yes. You waved at them. Brooklyn sat there and said, "Regards." Oh my god. Regards and salutations. Theo just shrugged, a hand in his hoodie pocket while the other on his phone. As they talked with each other, at the corner of your eye you noticed a familiar figure. It was Sol. He came out of a classroom and another person came afterwards behind him, seemingly bored out of his mind. Ooh, what should we do? I did say give them a chance, but maybe not today. Or, wait. I could come over. There's an option. But is it the right option? Good question. You know what? I'll call him over. Soul. Not sparing the group a moment, you'd make your way where Soul is. Soul almost instantly notices you by the visible smile making its way to his face. His companion notices change in attitude and turns his attention to where you are. Sunny. That's cute. Sunny? Sunny, okay, Sunny. He pats Soul on the back. He pats Soul at the back, causing the taller male to jerk slightly forward. Soul gives him an irritated look, observing the way his face is slowly turning red. He's such a such. I don't know about that one. But sure. You let out a giggle, shifting your eyes towards Soul as he casts your gaze on his. Upon landing eye contact, Soul quickly averts his gaze away from yours, holding up his hand as he tries his hardest to hide his face away. Like a nickname? Must you torture that poor man? Let that man go. Soul remains silent, still refusing to meet your gaze. It's adorable. For a moment, the three of you are silent before the shorter male speaks up once more. I know I'm pretty. Thank you. Blush makes its way to your face. Scratching at the back of your head, you bit your bottom lip as you let out a small thank you. Oh my god, you're his bestie. Is he always this grumpy? Inquiring minds want to know. Hey, no, that's not it. That's not the word. Betty, a pleasure to meet you too. He extends his hand for you to take in, which you merely accept. Shaking it and puts it back on his side, a small smile on his face as he did so. Then you hear a group of footsteps behind you. Hugo first noticed the group behind you as he raised his head to meet one of their gazes. Worried. Wasn't gonna like die or anything. Oh, that's right. Sorry for running off like that. Yeah. Soul, Hugo, these are my friends. You turn your body to face Crow and the others, while your gaze is still fixed on the duo. Crow gives his two a smile and a small wave. Switch them. Oh god. Daryl came up first, extending his hand for one of the two to take. Wow, look at Daryl. So personable. That's the word. Personable. He said with a smile. Hugo took his hand in with a shake. Following up is Brittany as she just stares with a hand on her hip while Jess was twiddling her fingers as she stuck close to Brittany's side. Between Brittany, Jess, and Daryl, it seems that only the tall jock is the most enthusiastic out of all of them in this newfound friendship. Thankfully, Hugo returned the same energy as the jock. Nice to meet your acquaintance. Oh my god. He's so informal, it makes me want to die. I know that sounds so extreme, but it's like, stop it. Stop it. Earl also handed out his hand for Soul to shake. However, Soul did not take it. There was a slight awkwardness in the air between the two males, making Crow slowly retrace his hand back. The atmosphere between the two, however, was cut short when Hugo gave out a loud gasp and marched towards Gio, who was way behind the group, a visible scowl on his face. Gio's eyes darkened as he tried to step back, but Hugo was quick on his feet as he engulfed the dollar mill into a hug. Oh lord. I don't remember my Japanese. Well, it's time to put my Japanese to use. Even though I haven't used them like forever. Yeah, sheet. No, hold on. There we go. Oh, can't find my way. Can't fight my way out of a paper bag. Subaru. I'm not entirely sure what that one is. Because it looks like the katakana. What is it? Siku? Yeah. And then that's Shiburi. Yeah, like I said, I don't know what the first one is. But the rest is Shibui. It's way too advanced for me. Way too advanced. We have Kusai. And Kusai is usually used like it's like just take it like as like a bad reaction to something. Like because I wouldn't exactly like say disgust. Because there's like an actual like word I think to like express like disgust or something like that. And then we have like call up their siblings. Well, another loud gasp was heard. This time it came from Daryl. He points at Gio, quite a bit dramatically. You have a brother? It's always fun when people make like the siblings, like the younger is taller and the older is shorter. That's always fun when they do that. Everyone's attention was now on the three of them. Brittany seemingly amused by Gio's newfound dilemma. Crow just chuckled while Jess was surprised as well. Hugo started, finally letting go of Gio, the said male cursing under his breath as he composed himself and fixed his now ruffled hair as he walked towards Gio. He says, now standing beside Soul. Soul looks at you with anticipation. You. I don't know why I said it like that, but you. You know? You. Let's see, what do I want to do? I mean, I did tell Bro I try to be friends with his friends, but it's like, I also want to know more about Hugo. Like, where'd you come from, bro? What to do, what to do. I guess I'll clip them. I mean, sure. Oh, but I need to tell the others first if that's okay. What do you mean? They're literally standing right there. What do you mean you need to go tell them? They're like right there. Just literally turn to them and be like, yeah, I'm gonna go eat with them. Making and excusing yourself from the duo, you turn to the group, specifically the girl. But the group is like right there. You could have just. They would have heard you. I'm sorry. It's just like. The group is right there. Nervousness suddenly engulfed you as you tapped the blue-eyed male on the shoulder. Earl tilted his head and turned his full attention to you. Is it alright for me to come with them for today? Why are you asking him for permission? Just be like, yo, I'm going with them for today. Why are you asking for permission like he's your father or something? He paused, as if suddenly remembering something. Upon hearing her name, Brittany turned her head toward you. You noticed a basket around one of her arms. Brittany, however, didn't give you a chance to ask. He gives you a smile, surprising you a bit. Without further ado, you excuse yourself from the group before going with Sol and Hugo. Hugo gives you a smile. You turn to Sol. He gives you a smile of his own. His shoulders relax as if relieved. Hell yeah, let's go. Hugo walks to his usual spot and got himself seated on a bench that you somehow never noticed before. Okay. I mean, granted, there's a bunch of stuff that I probably didn't notice at my school. Never mind. Sol follows along, and in his hands is a large wrap box that caught your interest. Between them, he pointed to the box nestled in Sol's hands. Is that your lunch, Sol? As Sol unwraps the cloth, showing you 3 bento boxes, he takes out the first bento box that was settled on top before giving the second one to Hugo. Hugo happily accepts the box, thanking Sol before taking out his chopsticks. Opening the container, Hugo lets out an awe sound, his eyes sparkling, drool slowly seeping out at the corner of his open mouth. Placing the box gently on his lap, Hugo rummages through his pockets before taking out his phone. Opening his phone's camera, he flips it horizontally, then starts clicking away, taking 1 or 2 photos. Hugo lifts the container back into his hands, but not before turning to you and showing you what he keeps gushing about. Oh my. And there you see are various ranges of food with rice shaped to match a mob, seaweed to design the face along with using a cabbage leaf to form its wings. Right below the mob are many sausages shaped like octopus. Wonderfully cut carrots were made to look like stars and squeezed beside stuffing. Shiitake, there we go. Sorry. Forgot my Japanese for a little bit. On mushrooms. Egg roll sushi and broccoli with the melted cheese as the dip looked delicious. Ew. Broccoli and melted cheese? Okay, do people actually seriously enjoy dipping or like having their broccoli drenched in cheese? Like, I am gonna sit here and like judge you. Like, how can you find that delicious? If anything, it sounds like heart attack. Something. Nothing good, basically. Just does not sound good. But this is cute though. Oh, the little leg. So cute. Hugo points at this silk moth-shaped rice. No, wait, that was re. Oh god, I'm just now realizing that word was re. So I was right the first time when I read it. See how far back does it go? Oh, it doesn't even show up. That's so sad. Oh, that's so sad. No, itadakimasu. Without wasting another second, Hugo starts digging in, scruffing down on the rice like a wild hungry. That's not. I mean, okay, fine. Did you make this by yourself, Soul? What do you mean you can say that? It's either yes or no, you made it yourself. This is man on. What does he mean you can say that? Like, bro, you can just be like, yeah, I did. Like, it's not that hard. Nobody's gonna judge you if you did. I mean, some people will, but you can just say yes, man. Soul answers, opening his own container. He thought you seen another form of food art made by Soul himself within the container, but instead was created by a simple ham and cheese sandwich. Alright, listen. I've said my food takes many times before, but I can't stand cheese in my sandwiches anymore. Like, I used to, right back when I was a kid. I would have like turkey and cheese turkey and some other stuff sandwiches, ham and cheese and whatnot. But every time I would like open them to eat them for lunch, the cheese would be like melted and taste weird. So I was just like, you know what? Throw out the cheese and enjoy everything else. And that's why I don't put cheese on my food anymore. Unless it's like grilled cheese or pizza or mac and cheese. It's like certain cheese dishes I will eat it. Or lasagna. But it's like cheese on a sandwich, I won't eat it. I will also not eat like cheese on meat either. Like a hamburger, or I will eat a chicken parm though. It's just so weird. It's kind of like how I'll eat like some strawberry flavored things or strawberry dishes, but I won't eat like strawberry shortcake, strawberry ice cream, drink strawberry milk. It's like I don't even know what to call it. Because not all of it's like texture based. What would you even call it? I don't know. He saw a slice, but before he could take a bite, he turns to you. I have not. Soul's eyes went wide and Hugo gave you a shocked look. Before you knew it, Soul takes out another box and settles it on your lap. Why do you have an extra? Why do you have an extra? I probably should have done that. Sorry, give me a second. Not sure how it's full. I don't really use it, but okay. Ay, 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 ay. Sorry, y'all. I'm just busy these days. Because, as you guys know, like I said, I'm working on the, in quotes, second season, the murder mystery. And then on top of that, I have to work on my news video. And then on top of that, I have to do the streams. And then on top of that, I'm still working on my visual novel. So it's like, damn, there's so much. Ay, ay, ay. Well, you don't have to, Soul. Really. Hugo, who clearly had enough of the back and forth banter, suggests the idea before returning to his own box. Soul hesitates, but he eventually takes out a spoon and fork, handing them to you. You know what? Since we're here, since we have the option, might as well. You decline his offer of the utensils. He raises a brow in confusion. No, nothing of the sort. I want you to feed me. Soul's breath hitched. Huh? Soul's breath hitched, his face went bright red at your wild suggestion. Sorry, just takes me a moment to process some of this. It's like, oh, okay. Okay. Hugo gives you both a side eye. Her proclamation was enough for him to actually stop eating, shooting you both a judgmental look as if saying, really, right in front of my bento box. He scoots a bit away from the For a split second, his gaze darkens. What about, This confused you a bit. It made him interested all of a sudden, and towards Crow nonetheless. Maybe he would like to know more about him? Crow is known to be very friendly. Sure. What is it you like to ask me? Do I? I mean, your heart drops and you nearly choked on your own spit. No, maybe, possibly. How do you mean like, my friend? I'll be honest. What makes you say that? You nervously laugh. Nothing of the sort. Hesitance lingered within his orange orbs, unsure if whether to believe you or not. Wanting to change the subject before he gets any more suspicious, you blurted out the same question he threw at you. How about you, Soul? Surely there's someone you like? He smirks, and the very same grin he makes when he teases makes its way up to his ever-handsome face. As if? A wild blush erupts from your face as you try to diffuse this topic. Soul chuckles from the way you stammer and fidget, his gaze softens. Hugo eventually finished his own box, tucking it away and wrapping it back up. Standing up for the bench, Hugo stretched out his limbs and paced a few steps forward before turning to look at you and Soul with his hands on his hips. Is this what you guys do every day? Or at least when you both get together? You raised a question. Hugo turns his head to you with a slight tilt. Hugo pouts. Those bento box art. What inspired them, if you don't mind me asking? Gogo? With a finger under his chin, Hugo ponders for a short moment, trying to remember something from the top of his head, but to no avail. He turns to his friend, his arms crossed, seemingly uninterested in answering whatever inquiry Hugo's going to throw at him. He owns a plush horse? Soul? Owns plushies? Soul bites his lips, his face turning red upon the reveal of his little secret. That's so cute, you're just full of surprises, Soul. He says nothing as he fixes his choker. The red plush tinting his face makes its way to the tips of his ears. But appreciates your compliment nonetheless. You're so right, man. This makes you wonder, why do people never bother to notice him? Why don't people want to get to know him? Maybe they just never gave him the chance because of how he looks, not to mention his intimidating height. But isn't he like, English. But he isn't like that at all. In fact, he can be considered a gentle giant. Oh? Totally. Time passed for a while, and now Hugo and Soul are both leaning against the railings, observing the view below them. Curious, you make your way over to where they were. Hugo and Soul seem to be looking at something below, their faces solemn and serious. Hugo's face is blank while Soul's expression is a mixture of irritation and aggravation. You look down and there you see a group of well-dressed people. But what makes them stand out is not from the way they dress, but from the way they carry themselves. They're clearly not from here. The school's logo on their uniform's chest pocket says otherwise. They look so fancy. They look rich, dangerous. Couldn't help but hold your gaze on the tallest one in the group. An adult man, you're guessing that he must be a staff member, maybe a teacher. What sticks out about him is the eye patch on his face and a large scar behind it. It sends a shiver down your spine. Sol exclaims, your disgust coating his tone, not hiding a single bit as he pulls away from the railings and returns to the benches where you last were. Hi, class? Alrighty. It is nearing 3 hours. I will say, my throat is getting better. Like I said, I do have a lot of stuff to do, and the more time I have to do it, the less I have to worry, especially with my news video. I need to get more, well, not get more, but put in the stuff that I do have, get a bit more, and then record and upload it. And then, yeah, I have to keep working on it. Oh. I forgot I had it open. Good thing there was nothing doxing there. But yeah, I don't think anybody responded to my poll. Yeah, because I did put a post poll on YouTube asking if who wanted weekly videos or longer videos, but nobody really responded, so. I think what'll be easier for me is if I kind of do it with how, like, I did. Wait, I'm supposed to save this. Sorry. I'll just basically do it like how I did slow damage. Well, except, like, with slow damage, I didn't have to find stuff to put in, like, a news video. But essentially, I just basically grab what I can, then pick a day to record, and obviously I'll try, depending on how long it is. Actually, it probably shouldn't take long. So yeah, probably record and edit the same day and upload the same day. But I feel like not having it as like a weekly thing will allow me to like get a bit lazy. And then like at some point it'll just like not get done. But we'll see how it goes. Because this will be the first time I'm not doing it weekly. Alrighty. I've yapped long enough. I can feel a bit of soreness rising up in the corner of my throat. Alrighty, let's see. I'll send you guys to for this. I will be live tomorrow playing Chris Tales. Yeah, that's pretty much it. I don't really have anything else to say. So thank you guys for hanging out, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye! And again, look forward to the murder mystery event. Hopefully I'll finish before the original.